My name's Dr. Robert Lockhart. I was born in 1944 in Scotland, actually, and my parents, just after the war, seek a new adventure, and so they took 5 of us kids on a passenger liner across the world to New Zealand. And at that stage I was 6 years old, going through the Panama Canal, across the vast Pacific Ocean, calling in at Pitcairn Island, seeing how people live naturally there, realizing that the closer to nature you can get, I think the happier you are as a person. My formative years were in New Zealand. It's kind of a cold, temperate climate, and I often used to think about when I was walking to school in my bare feet, a habit I haven't got away from yet quite 70 odd years later, breaking the ice in puddles and thinking, no, I'm not sure whether I want to do this when I was walking to school. So I did my schooling in New Zealand and went to university there and studied science and geology and natural sciences. I did get a scholarship to go to America to study chiropractic, and so I went on that scholarship to Los Angeles. After studying for 4 years there, in the pollution, I could see that no, I didn't want to really live in a big city, but I wanted to help people. So I luckily came into contact with Dr. Robert Martin, who was a medical doctor as well as a chiropractor, and he influenced my way of thinking quite a lot. I first learnt how to deal with people and realized that how a person's life is influenced by their habits and their way of thinking. And you create your own destiny in your life. Creating a sense of self-responsibility is fairly essential if a person wants to achieve any sort of satisfaction in life and health in life. With Dr. Martin's influence, he made me realize the effect of gravity on the body for a start. We're all influenced primarily by that influence of gravity, and most other animals are placed in the most neutral posture, the gravity on all fours. We're upright, and you've got to realize that what you create in one posture, sitting and standing, that will create problems in your body, which you have to offset. If we can do that for a few minutes a day, it will result in long-term health benefits over a person's life. Because after all, what you've got to realize that the art of living consists of dying young, but as late as possible, okay? So that formed my basis background, and then I came back to Australia. Then I realized I wanted to live more in a tropical space. So I ended up coming up to Cairns, and I've been in Cairns ever since in North Queensland. It has a wide range of tropical fruits, abiyus, jaboticabas, durian and marang and different Attocarpus fruits, which are all designed ideally for our optimal health. The fruit-based diet is what man physiologically is most suited to. And nature's law, number 1, states that you should live on foods which are naturally suited to you. And fruit is naturally suited to us because we have grasping hands, we have stereoscopic vision, we have the dentition that's suitable for breaking down the fruit and the digestive organs to handle it. There are a number of advantages to a fruit-based type of diet. It places the least amount of strain on your body. If you just have a mono meal of fruit, even for days, it allows your body to cleanse. Fruit is hydrating. It's generally high in all your vitamins and minerals. We lost our ability to manufacture vitamin C in our bodies. All other animals, apart from guinea pigs and fruit bats and man, make vitamin C. That we have to get it from an external source. Most other animals have that strain on their system having to manufacture vitamin C. We don't. So fruit is the beneficial substance that provides that. Fruit doesn't have to be prepared. You can pluck it off the tree, a mango, a papaya, banana, a passion fruit. Yeah, it's so simple. You don't even have to do any dishes afterwards. You don't have to slave over a hot stove. Fruit is very important from the fact that it does supply far more enzymes than generally vegetables or any other type of food. I still think the king of fruits, though, is durian. It's a fruit which, when it's ready, you don't even have to use any effort. It falls on the ground. 3 or 4 days later, it starts to split a little bit, and it's ready. It's as though God had opened up that fruit, ready to present it to you, Food actually shouldn't be the foremost thing in your brain all the time, That's the only drawback I've got against all the vegans and the fruit people around the world. All they talk about is fruit and food, I don't mind that, but there are other things in life apart from that too. This, your spiritual awareness, getting the vitamin D from sunlight is so important, and you can't often do that in a really cold climate. All these things come back to the fact that man's most suitable environment is actually those areas of the world that promote the growing of fruit. And yeah, it's just common sense, I think the simplest periods of my life is when I'm just growing fruit trees and planting trees, honestly. That should be our primary function in life, should be to be motivator, a facilitator, and a seed disseminator. Do those things, you'll be happy. You might say that being on a fruit diet early on will take a little bit of willpower. I think it behooves people to take stock of their lifestyle depending on how much they want to improve their destiny in life. Things which you might have thought were only minor will increase as you get older. So if you've got a little niggle in the joints, or if you're getting headaches, or if your blood pressure's creeping up, you can get away with it while you're in your 20s. But they will, if you keep doing the same things that you're doing, which have caused those problems to even develop in the first place, then you'll have to take stock of your lifestyle. The body will endeavor to heal no matter what the circumstances are. It will try and always work towards a healing situation. And you do this by a number of ways. Correcting the diet, that is number one. Number two is getting adequate exercise and movement. Our sedentary lifestyles are working so much against actually promoting health. You should be up and moving every 40 minutes or every hour anyway, and doing a few stretches just to help the lymphatic circulation in your body. The third thing is getting pure air into your lungs, and people living in a situation that's in a city and artificial air, smog, that sort of stuff, they are limiting their lifestyle. The number four thing is proper mental and emotional attitude. I recommend reading some of Eckhart Tolle's work, The Power of Now, trying to introduce awareness into your body, awareness of the separateness between thoughts on the one hand, which continually come into your mind, and the deeper, which is the awareness, the consciousness, that deeper feeling of peace. So if you observe the masses of people and you think, right, I'll do the opposite to what everyone's doing. I'm an oddity. People out there saying I'm a fanatic, but I'm quite happy to be a fanatic. when I can wake up early in the morning and go and do some stretches and go and have a swim in the creek and hike up a mountain. I'd rather be doing that than being stuck in a hospital bed or crippled up with arthritis or in a relationship which didn't suit. You've got to let things go. You've got to live in the present. Everyone's life is an involvement. My life has been an involvement too. I had difficulties with relationships. I didn't know how to handle it. I wasn't spiritual. I was very shall we say, macho and wanted to dominate things. But I think now coming to realize acceptance of your present life situation is so important, you know. Resistance is futile, really. You can't defeat nature. Nature is going to win always in the end. And that's the fault of medicine, unfortunately. It is going against the forces of nature. If you're taking poisons into your body in the way of drugs, your body has to utilize a lot of energy in order to detoxify and get rid of those drugs. Trying to poison a person back to health is not, it's an anathema. It's not possible. You know, you've got to build the causes of health, and you do that by living correctly. We see people nowadays, most people are on about 8 medications every day in their 60s. So what are medication? They're only symptom cover-ups. They're only taking poisons into their body, adding to the toxic load in the body. So what we have to try and do is minimize that. Medicine shortens life, unfortunately, because it's based not on getting rid of the causes of disease, but on treating symptoms. Getting to the cause of disease, the cause of diabetes, the cause of cancer, the cause of heart disease. They're never really going to do that as long as they're searching for a drug cure for all those diseases. Even the diseases of old age and longevity, you might say that they all come into play a lot more as a person gets older. But I must admit, living on a fruit diet for the last 38 years, it's resulted in my hearing still is good, and I still, generally speaking, I can see everything. It's great, you know. So all my faculties are still present. I'm sure that's a result of the way I've sort of lived over the last 40 odd years. Sure, you can tell people, but people have got to be ready to accept it. But people shouldn't have to suffer. We should live a life of relative ease as we go through life. If you can do that, you're going to be happy, which primarily brings you right back to fruit again. So, yeah.